Today we're making IKEA Swedish meatballs with a twist. For this you'll need 1 onion, 4 cloves of garlic, Dijon mustard, soy sauce, beef broth, whole milk, salt and pepper, gluten-free breadcrumbs or regular breadcrumbs, 80-20%, beef mix, and Italian hot sausage. Next you will need to add about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil or whatever oil you have at hand will be sufficient. And you just want to bring this to a simmer to cook our onions. Okay, next up we want to add our onion and garlic to the hot pan. And we're going to cook on medium for about 5 minutes. We want to cook out the raw taste of both ingredients. And you don't want to add raw garlic and onion to your meat mix. That would taste terrible. So you want to make sure we cook this through and cook out that raw taste. So you want to squeeze out the Italian sausage from the sausage casing and mix it in the meat. Once the meat has been thoroughly mixed, you want to add 1 cup of breadcrumbs and 2 whole eggs and 1 cup of milk. And we want to mix this again thoroughly, just incorporating all the ingredients. We want it to have a bit of a wet texture. So you want to make sure that you really get in there and mix in the egg and the breadcrumbs, because this will both add a nice taste to our meatballs, but it's also going to help them keep form. So the final ingredient we need to add to our meat mix is the onions and garlic that we had cooked earlier. You want to be careful just in case your onions are still hot when mixing this in. You want to line your baking pan with some foil, no additional oil needed. Next you want to roll up your meatballs to however you like them in terms of size, and we're just going to brown the meat. So we're not cooking the meatballs here, we're just adding this nice brown crust. So you just want to give it an equal browning effect on all sides. So as you can see, we have a whole lot of meatballs here that I ended up using for lunch over the next few days, but there's a fairly equal brown coating. Next we will be making our sauce. So for this you'll need 2 tablespoons of butter, which we will melt, and then add 1 cup of whole milk. After the whole milk has been incorporated, we will be adding 1 cup of chicken stock and just let this mixture mix. To our liquid, we will be adding about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, approximately, and then up next we will be adding our soy sauce. I went for about 1 tablespoon, but you can add more depending on if you like the taste. And we're just going to add some pepper here. Next, you want to add a pinch of salt. You don't want to go too heavy because the Italian sausage also has a lot of salt in it. And then once we've added our salt, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. If I could get it out of the bottle. We'll be creating a roux to thicken our sauce, so we will need 3 tablespoons of olive oil to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And we're just going to whisk this together until both ingredients are incorporated. And it's going to create a clumpy substance, and that's essentially what we're looking for here. So just keep whisking it in until the flour is mixed. After 4 minutes of cooking on medium heat, this is essentially what we're looking for here. So we're going to cook our meatballs on 400 for about an hour. And as you can see, the meatballs look great. Once the meatballs have been cooked, you want to let them cool off for about 15 minutes. And then you just want to add the roux that we created earlier to your sauce. And then as you can see, that's our finished sauce. Next up, we're going to add our meatballs to the sauce. And essentially, this is what your pot should look like. Just mix in both ingredients and you're ready to eat. Here's our final presentation. These were delicious. You can pair it up with some meatballs or some pasta, whatever you prefer. Enjoy.